Greetings, everyone. So today I wanted to talk about dangerous narcissists and also narcissistic rage. If any of you have had the misfortune of being confronted or in the vicinity of a dangerous narcissist, it is truly not anything to mess around with. I unfortunately have had numerous accounts, numerous encounters, in the last, more so in my younger years, when I didn't really know what narcissism was. One of the favorite places a dangerous narcissist likes to rage on you is in the car. Especially if it's a romantic partner, like a male narcissist with a woman who's getting abused. They love to get you in the car because they know that they can rage and rage and rage and scream at you. They can hit you and you can't escape. You might be able to escape if you're at a stoplight, or if the car's going really, really slow in slow traffic. And even in that case, it's kind of dangerous. But if your life is in danger, you've got to make the right decision. I would say try to get out of the vehicle if you can. It happened to my sister. She had to bail out of the car back in the 70s. And back then, cops really didn't do anything. And I'm not saying every cop was, okay with that, but that's just how it was then. But it's like and in my personal experience, the more they can isolate you, the better. And you don't understand what they're doing when they're isolating you, cutting you off from friends and family. Oh, that person doesn't know what they're talking about. One of my exes, actually, I'll never forget this. I was talking, this back during landline times, landline phones. And I was having a discussion with my mother, just everyday talk. And he actually hung the phone up on me. So, the dangerous narcissist, very spooky, very scary when you're in that situation. When I look back on my experiences, I was fawning. It's like you get really meek, really quiet because you're in fear for your life, or it's actually, my experience is it was fear for your life. I had another narcissist almost kill me in a car accident. The car didn't go off the road, but I was not doing what this narcissist wanted me to do. And he was driving like a freaking maniac. And I was scared. It was on the country roads too. Up and down the hills, around the curves. And I couldn't just jump out. So, yeah, that's part of my experience with the dangerous narcissist. I'm much different now. I'm a stronger person. I won't tolerate it. But when you encounter these kinds of people, you have to be careful. And I don't think the dangerous narcissists are only male. Absolutely not. If you guys can go and Google search that United Kingdom coercive control. It's like a miniature documentary movie. You will see how violent and evil that narcissist was, and she was a woman. So I was just trying to think in my mind before I got on recording this. A few years ago, I love my Starbucks. I can't really drink it as much as I used to, but I love me some Starbucks. So I was going to get my coffee. I had just moved to where I live now. This is about 4 years ago. I was starting a new life. Not a new life, but just, a new chapter. And it was, I believe it was during COVID. So you know how crazy things were then. And this just bastard. So the place that I was, it was a very touristy spot. Don't even ask me why I decided to go there. I was, we were all cooped up during the holidays, or not the holidays, but during the C word. And so getting into this little town was really, it was backed up because a lot of people wanted to go canoeing and do all these, outdoor fun things. And actually it wasn't a Starbucks, I just remembered. It was actually a gas station. But I was going to get my coffee. I have another Starbucks story though. And this guy, I would venture to say he was maybe 36, somewhere like Caucasian, 36 to 40 years old. Very slim, very fit in shape, very military looking. And he had, I just get upset just thinking about it. It was so awful. He had all his children lined up. I'd say ages 12, 9, 6, 4. I don't think the children were younger than that. This man was screaming at them to the top of his lungs, just abusing them. And you guys know me enough now, right? Oh my God. I think now that I think about it, I probably would have said something. I probably would have said, "Oh, you're a real man, but you're more like a pussy, beating up on your children like that in front of everyone." I feel really bad for anyone who's ever gone through a childhood like that. I wanted to say something. I was just my rage was just, how when you guys get when you get really mad and you feel the heat go from your feet all the way to your head because you're just, I think that's adrenaline too. And I did stare at him because I like doing that, to give him the stare. And then he didn't yell as loudly. And you see, that's more psychopathic in a way. I don't know if he was a psychopath, but the reason I didn't say anything, well, one, for my safety, but I knew that if I said anything to give him his narcissistic shame or injury, you know what he was going to do? He was going to go home and beat those children even worse than he normally does. You know what I mean? And in the perfect world, in the pristine, beautiful, unity-centered love type of world I'd like to see, my dream would have been to get the wife and the children out from that. And who knows if through that abuse, some of the children may pick up those habits. I don't know. You know, all children are different. But I do not like people like that. Trying to think. I think all of us have either had personal interactions with people like this, or maybe you went to a family gathering or a workplace event, the post office, you know, public place where we've seen people like this. And I think some of the scarier, dangerous narcissists are the quiet ones. They will go out in public and put on a show, and literally, everyone thinks they are just the greatest person on the planet. They are the best father. They are the best employee. They are the best boss. They are the best business owner. You know, they save cats and dogs. Like, what's her name? Francois Coster. But I think all of us can agree, if you are around a person like that, you need to think of your own safety and your family and people that are in the vicinity. And it's really awful to see it. And we all have seen news stories about how it ended for women that tried to get away from these type of men. You know, they usually take the wife out and sometimes the children. My personal opinion, and I'm not a psychiatrist, but I would say I'd like to hear what psychiatrists and psychologists would say about that. I think when a person takes out their wife and their children, to me that's like 100% a psychopath. But I'm just sitting here thinking, I'm sorry, you guys, sometimes I sit and I think when I'm recording, and it's probably annoying, but I was just trying to fish for different either personal stories or things that I can relate to that. I mean, because of the manipulative nature of these people, the more dangerous ones, some of them are out in the open, like that military type psychopath with his children, or some of them are putting like this huge show on out in public, and then when they go home, that's when everyone gets it. So I would be curious to see what you all had to say about it. And, you know, there's no easy answers. I mean, social workers, nurses, doctors, everyone who interacts with these kinds of people, you know, there are a lot of people who want to help and get the families, you know, the children and a lot of times the wife out of it. Or even like with the coercive control video I told you guys about, the husband. It was just, man, if you saw what happened to that guy, she ruined him. Like, she traumatized him so badly. I do think there's some underground programs for women or men that are trying to escape abusers like that, but it's not easy living like that. It's kind of like the witness protection, but, you know, that kind of thing does require money. And I think for a lot of people, it's really hard to just up and disappear and cut ties with their family and things. But so anyways, I guess that's it for today on the dangerous narcissist. But as I always say, it's probably not the last video I'll make on it, especially if I think of another story or interaction that I had with someone like this. And I unfortunately had, with my first and only husband, had a lot of those. But I've forgiven him and have no contact with him, but don't wish him any ill will. But these kinds of people don't change. They don't. So have a good day, everyone. Or night, wherever you are. Peace.